record button. All right. Everyone probably should have heard the nice little recording in progress. All right.
Yep.
Now I can share this screen. Okay, so today's goal, as most of you know, we're going to do these twice a month. And the goal is basically to offer a quick little day training session that you can do while you eat lunch, something in the day. Obviously, we know sometimes it's hard to get on Zoom at 7 o'clock at night and sit on for an hour or two. So we just wanted to offer these midday trainings as a nice little break to your day, chance to kind of go over just some quick topics that hopefully make us all better as officials. First topic, obviously, we figured it'd be really good to do is the shot clock, just with the nuances of it. We know a lot of schools at the lower level and the JV games are starting to use the shot clock. So I know we have some JV officials, lower level officials who do JV games that are on there today. And so hopefully there's a benefit to this. Some of the things you'll pick up something new or a little tip or trick that you might be able to incorporate in your games going forward. So the first thing we're going to do is just talk about pre-gaming the shot clock. What does a pregame look like in the locker room? We've asked some officials, well, how do you pregame your shot clock? And they don't really have a good answer, or they're just not sure. They're kind of all over the place. So one thing I think of, and this is just how I operate. So this is one of those things you can put in your tool bag and use, or try something different. Instead of going through all the scenarios of when we reset to 30, when we reset to 20, when do we keep it? I like to work from the back court to the front court. All right. So I kind of work how we would work in a game when we start in the backcourt and we're walking up, and then what are our resets as where we're at on the court. So if you look at the slideshow here, when you're starting, let's start in the backcourt. So in the backcourt, I always pregame that we're going to reset to 35 on any foul kicked ball, right? Where the offense is going to retain it in the backcourt. All right. So you can always ingrain that in your head. The backcourt is always going to reset to 35 if we need to reset it with the offensive team is getting the ball. We won't reset on out of bounds plays, right? Or a held ball situation in which the offense retains it. All right, that stays the same. Also, a good thing to pregame reminder: we're not going to use a visible count tonight. We're going to let the 10 seconds run off the shot clock. If we have an out of bounds or timeout play as a crew tonight, let's have good communication to the coaches and each other to remind ourselves of what the new time on the shot clock will be for a 10-second violation. Example: we're walking up the court. The pass gets tipped out of bounds on the backcourt with 30 on the shot clock. If I'm a table side official and I'm next to the bench, I'm going to say, hey, coach, just a reminder, the 10-second violation will now occur at 20 seconds. All right. And just communicating that as a crew tonight. Reminder, following, this is one of those unique situations too that happens. Remind ourselves as a crew, following a made basket, the shot clock starts on a touch. So if we inbound, tips off someone's fingers and they have to go track it down, our shot clock should start. Okay, so being cognizant of that. Now we move into the front court. A lot more situations that can happen here in the front court. All right, so any shot attempt, we are going to reset to 35 or 20. All right, regardless of how much time is on the shot clock, whether there's 2 seconds left on the shot clock or 30 seconds left on the shot clock, if we have a shot that hits the rim tonight, we are going to reset to 35 or 20. Now, the important thing to remember about that is we need a player to gain possession of the ball before we reset a shot clock on a ball that hits the rim. All right. Anything in the front court that's out of bounds, held ball in which the offensive team keeps it, no reset. All right. We're keeping exactly what it is. Fouls by the defense, we are going to reset to 20 if we are below the 20, and we're going to keep it if it's above the 20. All right. Same thing with a kick ball. Kicked or fisted ball. If we're above 20, we're staying at that number. If we're below, we're going to reset to 20. During free throws, I know this is one at the beginning of the year that a lot of people had some questions on. When we are shooting free throws, we are going to tell the shot clock operator to reset to 35. All right. So that shot clock will sit at 35 during the free throws. If we have whatever the last free throw is not made, if the offensive attains possession, right, that clear possession, then we'll bump it down to 20. All right. Okay, the nuances here. Change of possession. Key thing to remember: if we have a change of possession, where is the location of the inbound? If the team that is now getting the ball is inbounding in their backcourt, reset to 35. If we're inbounding in the front court, 20 seconds. All right, great example: backcourt violation. Offensive team turns it over, it's a backcourt violation. defense is now going to be the offensive team. They're inbounding in their front court. We go to 20 seconds. All right. Keep it simple. Once again, jump ball. Offensive keeps it. No reset. Defensive gets it. Reset to 35. All right. Unless they get it, unless it's going to be in the front court. All right. One thing you can incorporate into your pregame is make sure whenever the clock does stop, we have eyes go up on the shot clock. All right. One eye, if you don't have action in front of you, we're going up to the shot clock and just be aware of what the time is. All right. You need to be able to say, were we below 20? Were we above 20? Or do we need to do a recall? All right.
Hey, Austin,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Eric.
question. A point of clarification on the first bullet point. Can you go back to the previous screen there?
This one?
Yeah. So I want to make a distinction here between resetting the shot clock and starting the shot clock. So the first bullet point there says that the ball hits the rim. Okay.
Hold on a second. There we go. I had to change screens. Can you see it now?
Not yet. It's coming.
I had to change what screen it was on.
But anyway, I can explain it without it.
Keep going.
So we're talking about when the ball hits the rim, the shot clock operator should reset the shot clock to 35.
Correct.
So there's a difference between resetting the shot clock and starting the shot clock. So the ball hits the rim, the shot clock operator should reset it to 35 and not start it until a player, either an offensive player or a defensive player, gains possession of the ball. If the defensive player gains possession of the ball, we're going to start the clock at 35. If an offensive player gains possession of the ball after it hits the rim, then they're going to switch to 35 to 20 and start the countdown from there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we can remind that in our pregame with the shot clock person once we get to that as soon as that ball hits the rim and they know it hits the rim with confidence, we can reset the shot clock right away and hold. We don't need to keep running.
Yep. And then in terms of change of possession, I want to make a distinction here that if the ball is live, if play is live and there is a change of possession, no matter where it occurs, the shot clock is reset to 35. So you don't even have to think about it. The ball is live. So you've got live play going on. If there is a change of possession, team A steals the ball from team B, then you've got an automatic reset to 35, regardless of where it happens on the court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff.
So Austin makes a distinction between inbounding the ball. There's a difference between inbounding the ball when a change of possession and when there's a change of possession when the ball is actually in play. The ball is actually live. So don't want to confuse things, but that's a distinction that's fairly important to understand, the various rules and whatnot.
Yep. Good stuff. And on these next slides, when I talk about pre-gaming with the shot clock operator, we're gonna also mention a loose ball, right? When the ball is loose, when do you reset the shot clock? All right. So we'll kind of hit on that when we get to the next couple slides here.
Austin, just to clarify, so if the offense loses the ball, say just turn over the ball, bad pass in their backcourt, the new team, Team B, is now in their front court, shot clock set to 20.
Correct.
No.
Well, no, hold on. Are you talking about a steal, or is the new team going to inbound the ball because it went out?
So say they're pressing, the defense presses, the offense has a bad pass, throws it out of bounds in their backcourt. Now Team B is now in their front court. That goes to 20 seconds, correct? If I'm reading that correctly on inbounding.
Correct.
Okay. Well, let's make sure we understand. Is the ball live? Did they steal the ball? Play continues.
No. Good press, bad pass by the offense that throws it out of bounds in their own backcourt. Ball now change possessions to Team B. Now the Team B's in their front court. Shot clock 20.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. You've got the offensive team inbounding the ball in their front court.
Yep. Good question, Chris. Any other questions about how to pregame the shot clock in the locker room with your partners?
Can I interrupt there on that on that last one about ball going out of bounds in the backcourt, now it becomes front court for the team taking over possession. Where do we find that in the book or case book or whatever, where it goes to 20? I agree it goes to 20, but I've had other veteran officials tell me it goes to 35.
Let me look. And here's why there'll be that confusion, is because that's the college game. So I imagine our
Right.
veterans will be, let me see. I've got all the documents up here on the Minnesota. So one of the links I put in there is the resource page for the Minnesota State High School League. Let's see here. In the Minnesota State High School League shot clock rules protocol PDF.
Yeah.
Shot clock stops, sets, and resets. Not that one. Where did that? I just read it today. The personal foul and shot clocks, stop the shot clock and reset to 20. Okay. There we go. Free throw. Where's it at? Now I gotta do the word sign. Here we go.
So many different documents and so many different scenarios.
Right.
Right.
Out of bounds.
Where's the condensed version? Let's go to the condensed.
I'm looking at the condensed version. Ball deflected out of foul square, no shot clock reset.
Okay, here we go. It's a change of possession during a live ball. Where's the change of possession? Okay. So here it is. A change of possession, example, violation, offensive foul, or out of bounds, which results in a throw-in in the team's A, front court, reset to 20, back court 35. So if we have a change of possession in the new
Got it. So it's
Yeah.
it's 35 in the back. That's what I thought. 35 in the back court, 20 in the front court. I
Yep.
think there was some confusion on that. It's 35 regardless if it's back court or front court. So
Correct.
that's the difference.
Yep.
And then there's also that difference of live ball.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens during live play, the ball doesn't go out of bounds, the team steals it, then you've got a 35-second reset,
Right.
regardless of where it happens.
And we have two or three plays that'll give that example.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on pregame and the shot clock in the locker room? Sweet. Let's move on to now you're on the court for pregame warmups. You won when you go over to the shot clock operator. All right. So the first thing you're obviously going to do is introduce yourself. And then first thing we'll do is make sure that both reset buttons work, 35 and 20. All right. And then you'll have the shot clock operator run the shot clock down from 20 seconds all the way until the horn sounds. That way, you know the horn sounds, you know all the digits will work for 20 from 20 down. That just ensures everything's going. We're going to do this regardless if it's the second game of the year or it's a section final. All right. We do this for every game. We'll ask the shot clock operator if there's a recall button. If you know your scoreboards, Daktronics has, which most of our schools have, does have a recall shot clock button. What the recall button allows you to do is if the operator does for some reason do a reset and they shouldn't have, you can hit the recall shot clock button and it'll bring the shot clock back to the point where it was last before it reset. All right. So that's a valuable tool to have. Next, we're going to have what I like to do, especially early on, is show the shot clock operator what does the resets look like. So if we go like this, we mean 35 seconds. If we go like this, we mean 20. All right. Let that shot clock operator know if they're ever in doubt what the reset should be and it's a live ball, look at one of the officials. Because as officials, if we're running down the court and we have a change of possession and we don't see that operator notice that we need a change, you can go like this. All right. You can go like this, or if it's an offensive rebound and they're not catching it right away, feel free to put your 20 up and towards the table and see if they can get it. All right. We can allow that to happen. Remind them there are two ways to start. The shot clock starts when it's legally touched, giving them an example, made basket, inbound throw. It tips off the person's hands and they have to go track it down. The shot clock starts when it legally gets touched. All right. Tapped off the fingers. Jump balls, we want to wait for possession. Correct. All right. Same thing like we pre-gamed earlier on the pass slide. Rebounds, after it hits the rim, we want to wait for someone to actually gain possession before we start the shot clock. And then we'll go through the same scenarios with them. In the backcourt, keep it simple with them, right? Because when the ball's dead, we can always chat quick and make them reset. We want them to be prepared for the live ball situations where the shot clock has to make an instant second. All right. So keep it simple for them early on here. Remind them fouls or kickballs in the backcourt, we're resetting to 35. Anything that just goes out of bounds normally, or if a timeout is called, we're leaving the shot clock as is. There we go. Front court. All right. Same thing we do that we move from backcourt to front court like we do in our pregame. Okay. Remind them any shot, anytime we hit the rim, regardless of what the time is, we're going to reset to 35 or 20. All right. Remind them we can reset as soon as it hits the rim and hold until possession is gained. The defense keeps possessions, let go of your reset and let the 35 run. If the offense gains possession, switch it to 20 real quick, let go and let the clock run. All right. Discuss the reset situations when there is a foul. So remind them, if we're above 20, we don't need a reset on fouls. If we're below 20, we need a reset on fouls when there's no free throws involved. All right. We'll remind them on free throws, we're going to whenever we're shooting free throws, we will always reset to 35. And then we will change to 20 if the offensive team gains a rebound. Remind them again, that's one where we need to wait for possession to be gained. Here's a big one that it might just need to happen for people to understand. Loose balls. When we have a loose ball live or people are scrambling around, remind them to let the shot clock keep running until there is a true change of possession. Remind them if they're ever in doubt to let the shot clock keep running. Okay. Don't reset if they're in doubt. All right. And remind them that you can also look to officials for either a thumbs up, which means keep the shot clock exactly where it's at. Your good job. Keep it running. Reset to 35 because we had a change of possession. All right. Well, those are those two loose ball situations because good example, offensive team comes up, dribbles off the leg and has to go chase it down in the corner. That shot clock does not reset until the defensive gains possessions. All right. We could have a shot clock violation where two teams are diving for the ball because the offensive lost it. Right. So just remind them, loose balls, keep the shot clock running. If they're in doubt, look at all three officials. Guaranteed one of the officials will either give them a thumbs up to say, keep it running, good job, or give us a 35-second reset because we have a true change of possession. All right. Jump balls, just remind them, if it stays with the offensive team, we don't reset. If it goes to the defensive team, we're going to reset to 35 seconds. All right. Just give them that cue. And if the jump ball happens where we're going to rebound in the front court, no time is running. So it's okay to signal to the scores table 20-second reset. We have that time to make that adjustment. Same thing here, right? This next one with any backcourt violation, turnover in the backcourt, the offense now has their first possession in the front court inbounding, reset to 20. And then just continue to give them confidence, right? Remind them they're doing great. We're glad they're there. This is something new. We're going to work together. Remind them whenever you're in doubt, look at the officials. One of us is guaranteed to give you a thumbs up to keep the shot clock where it's at if it's not running, or to keep it running, or resets. All right. Any questions on what we should pregame with the shot clock operators? Any additional comments? Sweet.
It might behoove those that aren't comfortable with it to print out that official's guide for shot clock pregame with table and have those in your duffel bags or your bags when you're going to your game, when you're in the locker room, so you can take that out with you with the U1.
Yep.
Use that as a guide. They may already have it at the table, but if they don't, now they do. So it gives them some material to look over and it helps them as well.
Yep. Yep. We basically are simplifying this whole thing, and then they have that there for if they ever need to just glance real quick at it, they can glance at it. All right.
I'd also add, if you as the U1 are uncomfortable with the shot clock procedures, mechanics, rules and guidelines, as you go over to the table, it's okay to take a veteran official with you, either the R or the the other U2. I know you're supposed to watch players on the court, make sure that somebody is watching players on the court, but both teams on the court. But it's important to have the good quality pregame with the shot clock operator. And if you need help doing it, don't be afraid to ask.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, couple tips and tricks just as we get used to having to clock manage the shot clock. All right. Give operators a second or two to reset in hectic situations. All right. I know people have said this before. If the ball hits the rim and we have an immediate putback, we don't need to worry about if the shot clock went right to 20 seconds. All right. If we have a shot that hits the rim, someone gains possession, give the shot clock operator a second or two to get their finger off the trigger and let that shot clock run. Sometimes they get shielded by a coach, right? So give them a second or two. If we get to the point where 5 seconds of action have gone off, 5 seconds of action has played out and we don't have a reset, or the shot clock hasn't started and we're at a point where we can stop the game and there's no true active action happening, stop and just readjust the shot clock what it needs to be. All right. If you're the trail official, as you're walking up, if you don't have an active matchup with someone guarding hard as you cross half court, just take a quick peek up at the shot clock and then make a mental note of where that shot clock is at, whether it's 30 seconds, 25 seconds, because if we get deep into that shot clock, you will have now a piece of information that we can use, right? If I come in and say, hey, if we're not sure if the shot clock was below 20 and they accidentally reset it, we can say, well, I know we crossed half court at 28 seconds. And then you can kind of do some math in your head. If you're the new lead, take a peek and make sure the shot clock starts when both the trail and center official have full court pressure. You don't have any matchup happening in your area. So take a peek and make sure the shot clock starts. All right. Most important thing, and obviously this will be the most challenging thing. I found myself doing this a couple times early on too. Don't take your eyes off an active matchup in front of you just to make sure the shot clock reset. There's 6 eyes of officials on the court. And guess what? The coaches are probably going to be screaming too if a shot clock doesn't properly reset. So don't stop officiating play just to make sure the shot clock resets. Someone on the floor is going to get it. So if you're the lead, you have an offensive rebound, really train yourself not to look up at that shot clock. Let the center and trail take it. All right. Anyone else with some tips or tricks or questions of, hey, what's a good rule of thumb I should use when working with the shot clock?
So also there's also the scenario when the shot clock is turned off, the game clock is less than 35 and the shot clock is turned off. It's possible that even though the shot clock is turned off, that if the offensive team rebounds a miss, that the shot clock would have to be turned back on. You want to cover that?
Yep. So we'll do I don't have a video example of it because I haven't seen it come up yet. Actually, it happened in a scrimmage that Eric and I did the other day. So I should have got the film on that. Team A is trailing by 2 points. We'll say they're coming down. The shot clock is turned off because there's 34 seconds left when they got the rebound. They come down and with 30 seconds left in the game, they take a shot that hits the rim and they grab the rebound with 29 seconds left. At that point, because it's an offensive rebound, the shot clock resets to 20. And because there's greater than 20 seconds left in the game, the shot clock should reset to 20. Does that make sense, everyone? So just be cognizant of that. Obviously, if there's a quick offensive putback, we don't need to worry about stopping the game and getting 20 seconds on. But if they grab the rebound, they pull it back out, and they stand up there for 3 seconds, then we need to put time on the shot clock. All right, so just be cognizant of that. Just because the shot clock's off doesn't mean we're done with the shot clock.
And that's something you want to cover with the shot clock operator in pregame, because I can see a lot of shot clock operators thinking, okay, once the shot clock is off, I'm done. Don't have to worry about it. But that's not the case always.
Yep.
Hey, Tony Schrempfer, I see you're on the call. You do some college stuff, and I know it's similar, whereas college officials, do you have any tricks about keeping an eye on the shot clock while not so much active matchups, or do you have any input on that?
Right. No, Austin touched on it really well. The non-working official, not that official's never not working, but the non-working official, the official that doesn't have an active matchup, should always just peek. Anytime there's a shot, anytime there's a tip, anytime it goes out of bounds, just look at the shot clock, right? The calling official is going to have their call, and we're there for support to make sure that we know where the clock was. And again, talking to the table, right? Just let them know, hey, don't be in any hurry trying to do things. If you don't know, don't switch it, right? Let us correct it that way. And it's instead of us having to stop it to correct you because you did it wrong. It looks better when we can do it instead of always having to stop. And again, we're going to go through some growing pains with it
Yep.
being new, right? And that's just part of the gig. And you guys touched based on that under 35, right? They get it at 33. Again, anytime it's an offensive rebound in the front court, they're going to get it's going to go to 20, and that shot clock should come back on.
Mhm.
So again, it's the old rule of thumb. The slower we go, the cleaner things will be. And again, and always try to support that person at the table, because it could be new. Hopefully everybody's printed that out. You can find all this information in the central hub on the high school website.
Yep, everyone.
Print it out. Just print out, if you're the crew chief, just print out 10 of them, right? You're going to be the crew chief quite a few times, and then give it to you one and say, hey, bring this over to the table if they don't have one. Hopefully high schools are proactive and they're getting it out there for them to, and hopefully they watch the video that the high school produced, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that we could be doing, but again, make them feel like they're important, but let's not put pressure on them to, be 100%, because nobody's ever 100% in basketball. Maybe from the free throw line, but never on shots or calls, right? There's always gonna be some judgment involved, but shot clocks, it's all rule, right? There is no judgment with it, right? When the ball gets tipped, that's when you'll see people want to reset it, let it play out until somebody gains possession. I know Austin covered that just as well. So yeah.
Yeah, just don't be flustered with it or put undue pressure on yourselves with this new shot clock stuff coming in. It'll come to you. We're gonna make mistakes. The shot clock operators are gonna make mistakes. It's part of the game. So
but they're gonna get better. They're gonna get better at this. Yep. Good. I thought of one other scenario, and that is when the shot clock actually buzzes. You want to cover in your pregame with your coaches and captains that the only thing that stops play is an official's whistle. So they should play through any shot clock buzzers that go off. If that makes sense.
Yep. Just because the horn goes off doesn't mean it's a shot clock violation.
Yep.
And make sure we read and react to those situations, right? If a player gets it, if it's coming right to, and if they catch it as it's going off, blow your whistle to get that shot clock violation. Because if they take one little quick dribble and off their leg, it's going to go out of bounds and be the other way, and it's a mess. So if it's near them or as they're catching it and the horn goes off, that's when we want to definitely signal it. And if they've got it and then they take a step and that, a basketball move, and they're moving with it, and then it goes off, just yell, play on, right? I'll yell it, play on, play, whatever you got to do, right? Because we're not, like Eric said, we're not killing it, because that player's got it and they've made a basketball move, right? It's that, kind of the NFL play, right? But they got to make an athletic move with the ball. And once they do that, now we're good. And you can just say, play on. And hopefully the shot clock guy or person is aware of what we're doing, and they can reset it. And if it continues to go, then you'll just stop the game, give the ball to that team, and make sure that the shot clock is set at 34, 33, however many seconds you thought went off. Make sense?
Yeah. Yep. It's a good comment, Tony.
Yeah, good stuff. Really good. And these are things you can talk about in your pregame too, right? If you had a weird shot clock situation from the night before, talk about it in your pregame. All right.
It can happen during your first half of your game too. You might have a situation where you messed up. Now you can talk about it in the locker room, work it out, and hopefully we don't make the same mistake in the second half.
Yep. All right, let's go over to some plays. Is my video showing? Is it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I put a link. Obviously, if the video's a little choppy, I did put a YouTube link into the chat. So if you want to pull up the videos that way instead, if this gets a little choppy, they're there as well. All right. So we got about 4 plays here. I want to preface everyone. These are plays from literally the first night of the season. So that's why I'm able to use them, because they're from the first night. I've been looking for videos the last couple nights, and I really haven't seen shot clock, things where things were bad with the shot clock, or some streams obviously don't show the shot clock, so it's hard to get some videos. But just to preface, this is from the first night when everything was fresh with everyone, and we're still working out the kinks. All right, so this first one is going to be a front court inbounds off the turnover. So team A here, I think it was Rogers has it, and now out of bounds throw. Now STMA is going to inbound in their front court. So you can see up here, the shot clock stayed at 35. This should have been a reset to 20 because STMA is now inbounding in their front court. So out of bounds in the backcourt, the defensive team now becomes the offensive team. They're going to inbound in their front court. And so now you'll see the shot clock should have reset to 20 instead of 35. All right. Second play, backcourt violation. Almost very similar, except this time we're going to have also included in here is where the throw-in will happen. So backcourt violation by White. We are now going to inbound at the 28-foot mark right here. You can see they're inbounding it properly because it's a front court violation. Now you'll notice the shot clock is at 35. Shot clock operator caught it quick and we changed to 20. All right. Any questions on those two plays? All right. This one's going to be an offensive rebound that ends up with a with an inbound. All right. So it's going to be an offensive team inbound. This is the one where we reset to 20. Even though the shot clock was greater than 20, we had a shot hit the ring, we reset to 20. Okay, so we shouldn't have kept it. I'm gonna rewind this real quick. We can talk about when the shot clock operator can reset this. So shot goes up. Right here, this shot clock operator can reset to 35 and hold. Hold. Okay, now we know it's out of bounds. Yeah, we're patient, and now we can say, okay, we need to reset to 20 because the offensive team is going to get the ball.
That's again where we don't have any of that. We don't have the C or the off-table official checking that and making that signal to the table.
Yep.
That's clock awareness. That's what we're talking about. That's why we're having this.
Yeah. All right, so this play is going to be a shot that hits the rim. Neither team is going to have possession. It gets kind of bobbled around. And then the offense will get an inbound. So notice what the shot clock does. And this play comes through twice. Notice the shot clock will keep running, even though no team has garnered a rebound. So we properly reset to 20 because it hit the rim, but no team had possession. You'll notice the shot clock kept running. So our center official goes to the lead, confirms that neither team had possession of it, looks up and sees that we need to reset to 20, properly tells the table to reset to 20. This is one where you need possession. So missed shot, hits the rim. We should reset to 35. This one did 20. Okay. We keep playing. Neither team has gained possession. You can see the shot clock kept running when it should have stayed. All right. Now we have an out of bounds and the offensive team will rebound. Center official correctly sees that the reset is not at 35 or 20. So he confirms with the lead official that there was no possession. All right. They both agree there was no possession and then correctly tells the table 20 seconds.
That play has no effect on the game clock. Game clock is correct.
Correct. Yep. So those are just 4 quick plays that kind of talk about what we've been talking about today. So now we'll open it up for questions. First, we'll do questions on the shot clock. Let's focus first on shot clock questions, and then if we have a little extra time, we can answer any other questions that people have come up. Are there any questions on shot clock administration?
I guess my question is, in an intense game, coming down to a single possession where the game clock is under 35, offense comes down, right, and shoots the ball real quick, kind of like the example he had earlier. Offense rebounds, the shot clock should go to 20. It's a 1 possession game, right? And the shot clock operator doesn't reset that, right? Is that grounds, since it's in that, critical moment of those extra 15 seconds for the other team, do you stop play to reset that? How does that work and what would that look like? Hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm sure it will happen at one point.
So give that shot clock operator a hair second, right? To see if sometimes they might be shielded by the coach. They don't know where the rebound's coming. All right. 2, if it looks like the offense is going to put it right back up, don't blow it dead. Let them give that opportunity. If they come down with it and now they start making a bunch of moves, they're not sure what to do, and we see 2 seconds come off, maybe even 3, then we're going to stop it. We can get together as a crew or just 2 of us and determine what that shot clock time needs to be.
Got it.
If we don't have an imminent threat, and that's, I mean, a 1 point or a 1 possession game is pretty important. Then
Yep.
we need to put something on.
So if the offense resets a play, right, they go pass it back outside the arc, reset, and then you know that you can stop it. They're not going immediately back up.
Right.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
It's
Great.
almost like an injured player, right? Like an injured player goes down, a team's going on a fast break. You're not going to stop the fast break because there's a player down that's not affecting the play, right? Almost kind of like that rule of thumb.
Got it.
If you don't
Thank
have
you.
an immediate action.
That's a good question.
Any other questions, scenarios that people can think of?
I actually had the exact same question, so thank you for answering that. And then I just had one question. I may have missed it because I did jump on late. What if you have a held ball in the backcourt and there's a change of possession? Where does the shot clock go to?
20 seconds. So you have a
20,
held ball in
okay.
the backcourt. There's going to be a
It depends on where the AP arrow goes to. If it's the offense, it goes
Yeah.
to 20. If it's the defense, it's
35.
35.
So if it's the defense, or I'm sorry, if the defense
You're
gets the held
saying
possession, it's going to kick back to 35, even if it's in the backcourt.
so two scenarios here. So jump ball stays with the offense, we're staying. Jump ball, if if we're going to if it goes to the defense, so a change of possession.
Yep.
It's because if they are now going to inbound in their team's backcourt, it'll go to 35.
Nope, but
If they're
if it's in the
inbounding,
backcourt,
if they're inbounding now in what would be their front court, it goes to 20.
thank you.
Yep. Any inbounding situation where there's a change of possession, backcourt is always 35, front court is always 20 for inbounds plays only. And then in that scenario too, jump ball, you would inbound at one of the 4 tick marks. Good question. Any other questions on the shot clock? We probably got about 5 minutes left. Reminder too, if you ever get in a situation where one of the shot clock stops working, remember, we'll stop the game, communicate with our scores table that the PA announcer now needs to count down the final 10 seconds. That PA announcer also, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, should give an announcement at 15 seconds remaining as well.
Yeah, that is correct.
So, and then make sure the scores table has an alternative device, right? Stopwatch would be a good one to have, so that they can count those 35 seconds.
We did not talk about when, as the center and the trail official, when the shot clock gets to 10 seconds or under, that we signal with the point to the shot clock so that your partners know that we're under 10 or at 10 or under.
Yes.
If you want to get real nitpicky, always point with the arm closest to the basket.
Yep.
So the baskets, this is my basket. This is my basket. I'm gonna point with this arm. We're shooting this way, whatever. So if you want to look real clean, do it with the arm closest to the baseline. But that's advanced stuff.
That's what we're here for.
We're advanced.
Yeah. Reminders with the shot clock in games, JV games, and this is more for lower level guys, right? You could do a 9th grade game where we're not using the shot clock. So you're visibly counting 5 seconds and 10 seconds, 5 seconds dribbling and non-dribbling, right? With no shot clock we're doing. Then you transition to the JV game. They're going to use the shot clock. We're not going to visibly count the 10. And we're only going to count 5 seconds when they're holding the ball. Not when they're dribbling, they can go as long as they want. All right. So just remembering to make those mental notes. All right. Any other questions? We got about 3 minutes. So if someone has a non-shot clock related question that they feel would benefit the group, feel free to ask it as well. We can open that up since we've answered all the shot clock questions. No. All right. Well, we will call it a day.
All right, good job.
If you guys have ideas of topics you want to hear on these quick 45-minuters, feel free to email me. Obviously, we haven't set in stone the second one for December yet, and we haven't set in stone topics for January and February. Some of it might depend on how games go this year and the evaluations we see, and what we see that might be beneficial. So if you have ideas or something you want to know about, a topic you want to hear about, email me. We'll try and work it in. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, good job.
Good
Appreciate
stuff,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Have a great rest of your day. Email us with any questions or plays that pop up. If you need clips of plays, send them to me. I love using them. We'll utilize them.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.